The African Union, or AU, held its annual summit in Ethiopia last weekend at a time of genocide, myriad insurgencies and coups stretching from one end of the continent to the other, for which it has few answers. The bloc adopted a historic resolution describing slavery, deportation and colonialism as genocide and crimes against the people of Africa. The decision marks a significant step in the bloc's efforts to formally recognize the enduring impact of historical injustices on the continent and its diaspora. Here's our cover report by WION correspondent Louisa Olaniyi. African Union leaders meeting at a two-day summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, adopted a resolution that describes slavery, deportation and colonialism as genocide and crimes against the people of Africa. Chairman Mahmoud Ali Yusuf also called for an end to what he called the extermination of the Palestinian people.
That the conference recognized, colonization as a crime against humanity. That's very important. And we also the conference expressed its solidarity with Palestine and the Palestinian people.
Member states agreed to designate November 30th as the African Day of Tribute to African martyrs and victims of the transatlantic slave trade, colonization and apartheid. They said they would keep the issue under review and work together towards the recognition of the resolution at the international level. With 10 military coups in Africa since 2020, the AU has been forced to ignore the rule in its charter that coup leaders must not stand for elections. Gabon and Guinea, suspended after their coups, were reinstated this past year despite breaking that rule. Meanwhile, there has been no deep concern over a string of elections marred by rigging and extreme violence. The United Nations is fully committed to piling on pressure for an immediate ceasefire in Sudan, which has been devastated by nearly 3 years of civil war, Secretary General Antonio Guterres said during the summit. Since April 2023, the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces have been locked in a bitter struggle for control of the country. The conflict has killed tens of thousands of people and forced more than 11 million from their homes, sparking what the United Nations calls the world's worst humanitarian crisis.
We have seen a carnage in Sudan that is totally intolerable in the 21st century.
Ghana, on the other hand, pushed for the transatlantic slave trade to be acknowledged as a gravest injustice and crime against humanity with the United Nations resolution.
The first step towards healing is truth. The truth about the story of the transatlantic slave trade must be told. And this resolution at the United Nations is the first step.
AU representatives point out that its work stretches far beyond conflict, with bodies doing valuable work on health, development, trade, and much more. But African states have shown little interest in building up an organization that might constrain them.
One of the major outcomes of the just concluded 39th Summit of the African Union is a landmark resolution declaring slavery, forced deportation and colonialism as genocide and crimes against humanity. The AU is now seeking international legal recognition for these historic wrongs and is calling for reparations, saying their effects are still visible in Africa's underdevelopment today. While some analysts say the move may face legal hurdles because the event happened centuries ago, others believe it could strengthen Africa's push for a permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olaniyi, WION The World.